Little fifth graders, we are going to review all the rules of commas. If you remember, there are 7 that you will have to know as a fifth grader. There are several rules for commas. Now, there are a lot more rules for commas than 7. These are the 7 that you must know as a fifth grader. Number 1, when you list 3 or more items in a row, put a comma after all the items in the series except the last. A series is a list of 3 or more things in a sentence. Louise enjoys reading, comma, music, comma, volleyball, comma, needlepoint, comma, and karate. When we go on long car trips, I like to listen to music, comma, read the directions to my mom, comma, and stop at diners along the road. So that is commas with a series. Sometimes the series consists of just one word for each item, and sometimes, as you see in the second example, the series contains a group of words for each item in the series. Make sure you pay attention for that. Rule number 2, use commas to set off a person's name when you are speaking directly to the person. This is called a direct address. A direct address is when you directly address another person. In other words, this is when you are speaking to someone and you say their name. For example, Robert, comma, may I go with you to the beach? Also, if I could play ball like you, Ted, comma, I'd like to try out for the team. So here you have it. If the name, and it's a direct address, and the name appears at the beginning of the sentence, a comma will go after the name. If the name is somewhere inside of the sentence, there will be a comma before and after the name. And if the name appears at the end of the sentence, a comma will go before the name. Rule number 3. Use commas to set off words or phrases that rename or help explain another word or group of words. So this is commas with renaming. George Washington, comma, our first president, comma, was born in Virginia. Glenda, comma, a soprano, comma, has joined the school chorus. So before and after the renaming part, make sure you put a comma. Rule number 4. Use commas to separate 2 complete thoughts joined by a conjunction. So this is a comma with a compound sentence or commas with conjunctions. Conjunctions are words used to connect sentences to make one sentence. Some examples are and, but, or, because, nor, for, so, and yet. Zeke thought about running away, comma, but he knew the other goblins would not understand that he was afraid of the little girl. So find the conjunction in a compound sentence and put a comma before it, not after. Rule number 5. Use a comma to separate introductory phrases from the rest of the sentence. An introductory phrase comes as the beginning of a sentence. It is not the main part of the sentence, but it gives important information about the sentence. For example, after the class returned from the field trip, comma, they ate lunch. Also, if you eat a good breakfast, comma, you will probably do better on the test. The secret to introductory phrase commas is to find the subject of the sentence, and everything before that is your introductory phrase, because the introductory phrase will come before the subject of the sentence. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Rule number 6. Use a comma to set off yes and no. When answering yes or no, insert a comma in the sentence. Yes, for example, yes, comma, I would like to go to the party. So, comma after yes. This is a real easy rule because all you have to do is find yes or no and put a comma after it. And yes or no will always be in the beginning. And rule number 7. Use a comma to set off a tag question. A tag question appears at the end of a sentence and it asks a question. For example, the party begins at 1, comma, right? So a tag question, you'll find it at the end. Sometimes it's only one word. Sometimes it is a group of words. So make sure that you put a comma before the beginning of that tag question. Sometimes the tag question is, isn't that right? Or so forth. So those are your 7 rules. Now this is a review, so you should have known all of them. Now, 1 through 7. We're going to do each of these, and you're going to say out loud where you think the commas should go. So add commas where they belong. Number 1, I have painted the entire house, but he is still working on sanding the doors. Where do you think the comma goes? Say it out loud. Excellent. The comma will go right before but, because this is the rule, commas with conjunctions, and but is the conjunction. So right there. Number 2, yes, I do need that report. Where do you think the commas go? Say it out loud. Excellent. The comma will go after yes, because this is the rule, commas after yes and no. Number 3, he hit the ball, dropped the bat, and ran to first base. Where do you think the commas go? Say it out loud. Excellent. This is commas in a series. He hit the ball, comma, dropped the bat, comma, and ran to first base. Number 4, if I could sing like you, Dave, I would have my own band. Where do you think the commas go? Say it out loud. Excellent. This is commas with a direct address. The name is Dave. We're talking to Dave and said his name. There'll be a comma before Dave and after Dave. If I could sing like you, comma, Dave, comma, I would have my own band. Number 5, you won $1 million today. Isn't that right? Where do you think the comma goes? Good. This is commas with a tag question. The tag question is, isn't that right? Therefore, the comma would go before isn't. Number 6, I will be right back, Mom. where do you think the commas go? Excellent. The comma will go right before mom because this is another direct address, and you're talking to mom. Last but not least, number 7. After the tornado, the school was destroyed. Where do you think the commas go? Wonderful. This is an introductory phrase. Therefore, the answer is after the tornado, comma, the school was destroyed. After the tornado is the introductory phrase. Last but not least, have a nice day.